Good morning, everybody. I hope my presentation is now seen on your screens.
Yes, we can see it and hear you very well.
Fine. The story in Poland is that we started the renovation wave of multifamily buildings 24 years ago, in the year 1998, with introduction of the special support scheme for Thermo-modernization of buildings. And this scheme was purely domestic. 1998, Poland was a candidate for European Union, but we had very good relations with the Danish government and experts from Denmark. And Polish experts decided to design a support scheme to prepare all necessary procedures and propose to the Polish government to introduce this. And finally, the Parliament has decided in 1998 about implementation of this scheme. It was aimed primarily to help households in the reduction of heating costs after marketization of the energy prices. And the goal of this was to improve the technical standard of, let's say, between 50 and 100,000 buildings, which was a quarter of all multifamily buildings constructed before 1985. And the additional goals were, in fact, like today's goals: reduction of energy intensity, increase of energy security, reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, and the creation of several dozen of workplaces. This scheme works with the use of two elements. The first one is the grant from the Thermal Refurbishment Fund, which is a public fund located in the National Bank of Development. But this grant is mandatory connected with the loan. So as you see in this diagram, there is a St. Nicolaus state budget, which is granting help aid for owners of buildings, and this is passed to the commercial banks, and the banks are evaluating the creditworthiness of clients and are also doing verification of energy audits prepared by independent experts. The precondition for the use of the grant is that the minimum energy savings achieved through the measures implemented is 25%, which should be confirmed by the energy audit. And the subsidy was in initial phase 25% of the loan. It changed. Today, it's 16% of the total cost. And eligible for use of these grants are multifamily buildings of homeowners associations, housing cooperatives, also municipalities as owners of public buildings and social buildings, and also owners of local district heating systems with capacity of 11 to 6 megawatt. After 10 years of operation of the fund, there was a revision of assumptions after the deep analysis of the market and impact of the scheme on the stakeholders. And its significant change was that we added the separate grant for renovation purposes of multifamily buildings only, which met demand on such support by owners of buildings older than constructed in 1961, with technical condition, but also which could be partly under supervision of historical inspection. And there were also goals of this new grant. And we have also next, let's say, adjustment of this scheme to the macroeconomic situation, and also in line with the implementation of European directives. So integrated the grant for installation of photovoltaics on roofs of multifamily buildings, which gives additional 5% grant to the 16%, and well, we started also adjustment of the scheme to very new developments which appear in Europe. But until 2021, our funds served over 40,000 of multifamily buildings, most of them owned by homeowners associations, and this is the coverage level of 15% of multifamily buildings constructed before 1985 in all countries. And we can observe, which was confirmed also by the research of Buildings Performance Institute in Europe, that this practice has been, let's say, to some extent copied by many other homeowners associations, which were able to finance modernization measures without loan and without grant. And so over 50% of all multi-family buildings undergone any thermo-modernization. But in some cities, especially in Warsaw, over 75% of multi-family buildings, homeowners associations, after this renovation, and most of them used this scheme. As you see the curve on this diagram, it's rather obvious that there was a peak of demand in the year, let's say 2010, 11, 12, where the funds received almost 3,500 applications each year, and now we observe the dropping down the interest, but this is the question that we have analyzed, and we have some lessons learned. This downward trend since 2014 is conditioned by the gradual depletion of the market potential in large towns. The grant is connected with the loan, which means that the beneficiary needs to have a sufficient creditworthiness, and it's easier for homeowners associations to have it in the larger cities than in smaller cities. Secondly, starting 2018, the regional governments, which are managing regional operation funds from European Union, decided to create similar instruments to this centrally driven instrument, and they, let's say, cover a few hundred yearly homeowners associations from the central scheme, which I'm describing as a cannibalization process. But from another side, these new schemes which were created on the regional level are quite interesting for better designing of the central scheme. And two important lessons learned also from the working scheme is that there is a quite small percentage of applications for bonuses which are rejected in the case of verification. It means that there is good understanding of the fund's operation by applicants, and that there is a high quality of energy audits. In the meantime, we trained in Poland over 3,000 engineers for this function of energy auditors, and this training is also continuing each year by our center. And the last important lesson learned is that since 2007, the number of accepted applications is convergent with the number of bonuses granted. So the process of thermo-modernization of the building is in fact standardized and can be initiated at the beginning of the year and can be finished in material terms in the same year. So this is very good argument that the market, the labor market, the market of suppliers of goods and services for this sector approved this scheme as a kind of standard renovation work or standard procedure, and this is, I think, very good for the market, because it assures, in fact, yearly around 2,500 renovations, which involved the construction market sector, which is of course looking for orders. Now, exactly this month we are finishing approval of the next change of the scheme, especially towards meeting of needs of our multifamily and social buildings. The Thermo-modernization bonus will be increased to 26% of total investment cost. We introduced a special incentive for achieving the nearly zero energy building standard after renovation. This is additional 10% of total investment cost. So, if you see, this could be in total 36%. Plus 5% for photovoltaics, 41% the maximum grant for thermo-modernization measures, which is connected with the loan. Concerning the renovation bonus, for these older buildings, it will be increased to 25% of total investment cost, and we have introduced also the separate grant for PV installation. This is 50% of total investment cost. It is independent on thermo-modernization or renovation of buildings. This is applicable mostly by buildings constructed during the last, let's say, 10-15 years, which are not equipped with PV installation. And municipalities are currently eligible to apply for grants for thermo-modernization of municipally-owned social houses up to 90% of total investment cost. In general, we also increased the minimum level of energy savings which are required to apply for these bonuses. This is 30% according to the European Commission recommendations. And a few words about support instruments for public buildings. The Thermo-modernization Fund served 2,000 municipality buildings for thermal renovation with use of grants connected with the loans. Some municipalities were keen to take loans with this grant, but during last perspective and former, the first one, the EU funds have been used in form of grants only for the modernization of governmental public buildings under the central program, operational program infrastructure and environment. Municipally owned public buildings used funds from regional operational programs, each of 16 regions in Poland. And we started now the support of ESCO model to implement measures in multi-family buildings and in public buildings. This is the pilot phase, which is financed from the modernization part of European Union. And now we are, let's say, assessing the first phase of this program, and there are good perspectives to develop this and adjust better to the market needs. And the last one sounds for grants for municipal buildings, thermo-modernization. Of course, these were the EEA and Norway grants. And perhaps last remarks concerning the dimensioning of projects. Now, the cost of the modernization in multi-family building, this is rather deep modernization, which includes full thermal insulation of walls, and installation of heat pumps as replacement of the coal-fired boilers. This is 250 euros per square meter. In public buildings, this cost is 2 times higher because there are, in fact, standard proposed solutions to heat recovery and recuperation. And this project for multifamily buildings are in fact quite expensive and are enough attractive for banks. Generally, the homeowners associations in Poland are treated by banks as the best clients. I do not hear about any bankruptcy of the homeowners association. Therefore, 12 banks are operating together with Thermo-modernization fund and are serving those entities, and they are really very happy with loans for 15, 20, even 25 years, and which are paid mostly very punctual. Concerning the return of investment, there is still long SPBT, payback time is over 20 years, and it is not attractive for SPBs. So the new scheme that we are working on should reduce the SPBT to 10 years. So the amount of grant to the project, in fact, which this grant could be passed either to ESCO or to the municipality, should be in such extent that the payback period will be reduced to 10 years. And in such situations, some banks now are ready to finance such projects and by liabilities from the ESCOs in order to give them flow to start next projects. And it's important also that we use in Poland quite frequently the EU ELENA funds for preparation of energy efficient and sustainable projects. 4 banks are doing this, and they are helping homeowners associations, housing cooperatives, and now also municipalities with covering the cost of preparation, even providing the experts, the certified experts, which is a real help for beneficiaries. So they can speed up the preparation process of or development process of projects, and then so that they can earlier achieve savings and have economy from them. And the last topic we are intensively promoting now, especially within our RoundBaltic project, which is related to roundtables on energy efficiency financing on the central level and in region. These are one-stop shops. So we are promoting all 3 models. It means passive, active, and implementing model for beneficiaries, and there are plenty new interest raised from private consulting companies or even from private financing institutions to be such developer for owners of buildings. We are almost sure that the amount of money which will be available in the coming 5 or 10 years to support energy efficiency measures will be very, very high, and we have still much to do in opening the channels between the financing sources and the beneficiaries. They need to be very well informed. I'm talking, we need to knock each entrance door of multi-family building of the municipality, and also for single family homeowners, in order to give them opportunity from one side to reduce their cost and be in compliance with our goals concerning climate change mitigation, but from another side, we need to find new ways to channel the financing from European Union and from domestic funds to the final beneficiaries. Thank you for your attention.